Southeast Seattle Education Coalition, or CSEC for short, started in 2012 as a response to low testing scores in the region. The border of what would be Southeast Seattle is the south of the I-90, the 5, and then the city limits of Seattle. And within that district or that area, there's about 17 Seattle public schools, and at that time, and similar today, most of the schools had the Title I label. And so decisions were being made and families of color were not being included. Things would come down and have an effect, and there was no feedback communication. There was no way to really bring and elevate the voice of those experiencing some of the issues. And so the organization starts as a way to bring folks together, families, parents, community-based partners, to say, y'all need to listen to what's happening down here, and y'all need to make sure that decisions are being made considering people down here and not just to them, but with them. 12 years later, the work is still that, raising and elevating the voice of those in the community, all working towards educational justice. So we see the value of bringing folks together, of sharing information, and then having them lead us where they want us to go in terms of action. We offer 3 programs that support folks who work in other community-based organizations or parents in the region, folks with the care for education to build their capacity. And so our programs center on exploring advocacy and policy techniques, data literacy, and then we have a program that is self-exploration of one's identity, self-exploration, and understanding the oppressions that exist around us. And so all of that helps those individuals feel empowered and have the tools to move the work forward. And so rather than saying, here's the cause that we're driving forward, we provide the tools so that individuals can move their cause forward. And we know that in order to work towards educational justice, it's not just going to be one solution, but rather the strategies of various places. And so the work that we're able to do is bring those folks together through those cohorts. And then on our other side, we have what would be 2 direct service programs. One is around youth grant making processes, and so that supports young people understanding funding, how to reinvest back into community, and really understand that money exists in our community, and yet there's all these hoops and things that have to happen for us to access it. And so rather than creating these artificial barriers, what can we do to actually invest in our community and think about the future? And then our other program that is in its pilot launching process is a specific family navigator, where again we take a lot of that advocacy tool enhancement, but focused on the parent perspective and how parents who are their kids' first teacher can really push causes forward at the school level and support the greater kind of educational community. We all recognize that the way that it's working right now is status quo. It works for some, but not for all. And so how can we bring folks into a room together to share their work and to think through what strategies do we need to continue pursuing to really continue moving the work forward. Education is something that, you know, folks might feel like, well, it only matters if I have kids, but in reality, education affects all sectors of our society. The numbers, as important as they are, don't tell the whole story. We had a young person participating in our youth grant making process who was already, you know, really involved in community and was doing great work. But even more with her connection to us is making a decision of where to go to university. And she has, you know, 6, 7, 8 available scholarships to some of the best universities in the country. And so to say that, you know, this work lives beyond what happens within this office space, but in the individuals that we are able to support and empower is really exciting. I think when we look at the problem from afar, it looks so big, like there's just no way that we're going to solve education in this system. It's not serving enough. But incremental changes change the system as a whole. If we just keep working little by little, eventually that will create a big ripple effect. We can rest and make sure that we re-energize, but we cannot give up on the fight because we need to keep going for those that are coming behind us. And somebody fought for me to have a better, you know, system now, and I'm doing the same thing because whoever comes next is going to experience an even better system, and that's how we'll create the change that we want to see.